Welcome. This is Barry Jones from the Angel School, and we're here for our weekly angel reading for June the 29th through July 5th, 2020. So before we begin, I'd just like to make you aware that I will be continuing the angel readings, my angel readings for the half-hour price of $77 for a full hour for the month of July. So I'll be extending that into July, as I thought I would be doing. So if you haven't signed up for an angel reading with me yet, and you haven't taken advantage of this special offer during the COVID situation, what you would do is go to my website, theangelschool.com, and there you would go to my services page, and you would press the button for the half-hour reading, which is $77. But you will receive an email confirmation within 24 hours on business days, so not over the weekend, but during the business days, you would get a confirmation email, and it would indicate that the reading is in fact for an hour as a special offer. Okay. Also, don't worry about submitting a schedule of your times on my website. You'll just do that when I send you that confirmation email. It will give you the instructions about what to submit to me in terms of your availability within my office hours, which are from Monday through Friday from 12 noon to 6 p.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time. So all of that will be there. Again, you should expect that it would be the following week from the week that you submit your payment, that you would likely within the following 2 weeks be able to receive a scheduled appointment. So just give it at least one full week after your payment. Okay. So, all right. And just since I'm talking about what we do here, also I will be publishing the monthly Angel Scope readings for each zodiac sign for the month of July. So it's a monthly horoscope or angel scope with your guardian angel for the month, and a supporting message from your guardian angel as well. So you get this will be with the tarot cards, the Angel Power Tarot and the Angel Tarot by Riley Valentine. I'm using the major arcana, which have all the archangels, and a message from that card, and then a message from the guardian angel tarot. Okay, so be aware of that and check that out. As also, I'll be doing readings today with this new deck called the Hezikos Tarot, and it's created and illustrated by Mary Griffin. It's a fairy-like deck, so it'll be a little different from some of the fairies you may be used to. But what I like about it is that the fairies have these sort of hats from nature, shells, I guess, for the cups and things like this. And when I have seen fairies, they do have hats that represent their roles and in nature. And some of them have roles in helping us. So there's all kinds of little hats that I've seen that identify them. And some of these beings don't have wings, and some do have wings. So that's another thing. And you're going to see fairies in this deck that don't have wings, and some that do. All right. So let's take a deep breath together. And just really allow everything that's on your mind to kind of clear. Allow yourself to be free of whatever is distracting you. And they're writing the word question. So you have maybe questions on your mind. And they're giving you a sense, they write floor, as if to just allow yourself to ground, connect in with the earth beneath you. Because really what tends to happen is that when you have an answer you're seeking, you're in a place where you're anxious. And your ego is just spinning. And you are not in your heart. You're not grounded in your heart. And you're not grounded in your physical experience. The anxiety is that you're not being present. You're not being grounded at all with the human experience or with the message of your heart. You're running away from it. You're ignoring it. You're afraid of it. And so they really want you. And it was interesting. They were showing me sort of like a potted plant in the very beginning when I first turned on the video. And so it's this sense that when I see this, it's like you want to plant this. You want to plant something in the ground. You want to that you're working. Your energy is focused more on the physical and material world, and that you're focusing or planning goals that will reap rewards for you, that will manifest your desires, that you have things that you want and you need a way to cultivate some kind of conditions, some kind of I can feel it, the words, but it's like you need a means, you need, say, like a job, or you need a promotion, or you need something that will secure this and allow you to sort of feed or grow or develop what it is that you're trying to do in your life. So this is like a feeling that you're plowing the earth, planting the seeds, so that something can grow, and you need resources, you need support, physical support, more than you need anything else. And they're writing because you have obligations, and you're thinking very seriously about these obligations, and you're thinking about your talent. They're writing talents. And they're writing the word reform as well, and progress, that you are looking for ways to reform, and so that you can really start to make progress. But they're saying the things you're having trouble with is focus. And if you let your mind race and continue to race because you're anxious about these obligations, you're not focused, which means you really don't get anything done. Because as long as you're in your head, so it's like they wrote the word incorporate. You need to incorporate, okay? Because as long as you're in your head and listening to your ego about all the assumptions it's making, this is going to go wrong if you don't do this. They're like writing out the word organization. It's almost like I feel we need the emperor energy. They say you have an assignment, but you're not focused and you're not organized. So I guess the symbolism of planting a flower would be things like sitting down with pen and paper, maybe not literally, but symbolically, and you map out performance goals. You map out how you're going to go about implementing that performance goal. You need to be focused. You need to be organizing, and you need to be sort of I don't, this is not the right word, but plowing the field, so to speak. You need to be like the Knight of Pentacles, and working rather than worrying, meaning do rather than worry. Don't stay in your head, because the whole time you're in your head, like your hands and your feet are not doing anything. You're literally frozen. You feel, and then you notice that you're not accomplishing anything. So then you start to believe in this illusion that things are stagnant. And it's stagnant because you're just worrying and not really accomplishing anything. Okay? So think creatively, implement, think very much like hands-on. Okay? But this does not mean to eclipse your heart and to follow your intuition, to follow your instincts, to be creative. Be open, they say, to suggestions that are either coming from within or from helpful and I would say people with expertise and skill and experience in what you're trying to accomplish. Right? So that you can really start to make progress. And so they want you to be focused on a process. Okay? Make sure you have your platform and then really focus on a process. And they're writing, challenges are going to come up, of course. But be aware of what your process is. Got this phrase, it's like, don't get caught up in a vacuum. I'm not even sure if I know what that means, but I should. I'm sorry about that, but you should, right? But yeah, just don't get caught up. And it can be as easy as and uncomplicated as you view yourself, your abilities, your skills. So don't put more on your plate than you can handle. Work with the pieces that you're able to digest and let go of resentment and, all this self-criticism and self-doubt. Stop saying I don't know and at least say I think I know, right? That kind of thing. All right, let's take a look at the card from the Archangel for the week. And it's Archangel Raphael, okay? And it says, give your cares and worries to the angels and allow us to take your burdens. So when I was tuning in, very initial tuning in, my meditation, I saw ego. So, and the angels, Archangel Raphael is indicating here that you're worried about a lot of things and it's really getting in your way. And so it's go to this angel therapy, meaning they want you to call upon the angels. They want you to be compassionate. They want you to know that the universe, the angels are always with you and always willing to lend you a hand by helping you to give you clear ideas and thoughts that create breakthroughs in any turbulence in your life. And also that they don't want you to just react all the time. React. Your reaction is a practice habit, a practice response to your insecurities. And some of the things you may be doing, writing the word bold, might be bold for you. It may feel like you're really stepping out of your comfort zone. But you're not stepping out of your comfort zone. You're stepping out of the comfort zone of who you were. But where you are going is what you've expanded to. And so your higher being is already there with living it and expressing it for you, sending you all the signals of what you need to be prepped for this new opportunity. So your foundation is ready. But if you stay in your ego and in your head and let it talk you down, then you will feel diminished. And the idea of what you're doing and your goal, this will seem way out of your league. So don't, they're writing the word treatment. You know, be aware how you treat yourself. You have to establish new patterns. So, you know, don't assume that you're anxious just because your body starts running adrenaline. See, your body runs adrenaline when new information is being downloaded and you're uploading new possibilities that you are now starting to imagine and envision. And then the universe is going to answer that back and send you the download. It's sort of the answer to what you want. And when this processes through your physical body, this higher frequency, this expanded consciousness beyond what you were in that moment, your nervous system, all of your brain, your cells, everything starts to create sort of, for lack of a better word, since I'm not a scientist, but a chemistry or electrical impulses. And your adrenaline starts to charge because it's like your CPU, or the old CPUs at least, you know, when you hear that when you do something and all of a sudden you hear the motor and the fan just start to charge up, you know, and it's the same thing. It's like your battery is charging up, you know, the cells getting, everything is amplifying so that you can receive this higher frequency of information, of new possibilities and changes that are encoded within that. And so rather than, first I want to just point you to the neutrality of it. It's just information, energy. Now you can interpret and be prepared prepare yourself to be excited, or you can, you know, react and feel overwhelmed and powerless and feel anxious and interpret it as anxiety. But all it is really charges of new energy signals. And in that is getting you ready for it, for what's to come and what you're about to do. So work with your angels to help you to get clear, to be clear about the process so that you don't immediately choose to be afraid of it. And then, therefore, all sabotaging thoughts start to ensue. It's almost like they're writing the word captive. You feel like a captive. And they want you to trust more. Trust that always everything that's done for you is for the benefit of you. The universe is always bringing you rewards. And the thing about it is, with our physical eyes and senses, these things like chaos and upheaval, they don't seem like they are there for the greater good or challenge, but they are. Everything is a part of that path, a part of that journey. It's integrated. But the thing about it is, we see things in dual. We see these dual energies, and so we compartmentalize. And so we look at one side and we judge it, and we look at the other side and we judge it. But we don't realize that what the soul does is looks at both sides, both experiences, and explores them, and then compares and contrasts them. It's information, right? And so if you think of it as information, you would take both, and then you would look at what both sides is offering you. Okay, so let's take a look at the card for the beginning of the week and enter this sort of world of the the fairies in our author's deck. And let's see the card for the beginning of the week. See what that energy is. Okay, we have the Queen of Swords. So in this deck, we have very little of the traditional symbolism, but one of the things I notice is that the queens and the kings face forward, which means that their energy is really in the present. They're in the here and now, examining what's there. And the queens are taking in this energy, processing it intuitively. Right, they're feeling it because they have that water energy. So they feel they are. They had written the word before, empathy. Now it's coming back to me in my memory. So they're empathic. All of the queens, because they're all water plus their element. So with the Queen of Swords, you have the intellect and communication, beliefs and thoughts. So, this idea of paying attention. So one of the words I'm seeing is to release. Okay, so let me just go ahead and talk about that because they're putting that out. Here, there's something about you need to release, because the Queen of Swords is all about clearing the clutter, getting rid of the nonsense, and getting to the point. Okay, and so one of your issues in terms of not always being efficient is that you need to get to the point. Stop wasting your energy in the stuff that doesn't matter. So think about, what is the stuff that you think about that doesn't matter? Because they're writing change, and they're like, for me, I'm saying, well, the change is going to happen. The changes are here. You're living them all the time anyway. It's just that these changes are sticking out to you because you're resisting them. And you're resisting them because you have these clutter of ideas and thoughts, and ego projections that you're just allowing to cloud your mind. And the Queen of Swords is like, clear that clutter out. We've been to this is fitting perfectly with the energy we were talking about before, about being organized, structured, having a plan. So she wants you to pay attention to how the information makes you feel. You'll be able to know the thoughts and the ideas that don't resonate with you if you step back into that intuition and be clear. See, she's honest. That's why she can be so quick about this. And her judgment, she can make that snap decision. And she can be, fierce, and she can, her words can bite if, you're going to try to manipulate her or keep trying to talk stuff. So, first of all, you don't let people do that to you, and you don't do it to yourself. And some people, I'm just getting a sense, like some of you may be sitting there going, like, people don't respect me, they don't take me seriously. It's because, and I hate to do this, but this is the word I'm hearing, it's the trash talk in our head. We need to release that trash talk, get to the point, focus on what matters. And when you do this, you are practicing the kind of intellectual respect that you want other people to have for you. They're not going to be able to give you what you don't practice within yourself. So if you get sort of organized in this way, and I know it's hard because, those of us who are very intuitive, we don't want to hurt people's feelings. We don't want to step on any toes. We want everybody, we want everything to be smooth and everything. But the thing is what the Queen of Swords brings to us is that we got to cut the trash. We got to stop, we got to clear that stuff out of the way. It's time to be honest so that your intuition can be clearer, so that those answers, you don't wrestle with them. You receive them, you understand them, you work with it. You handle your business, basically. Okay. All right. Let's take a look at the card for the middle of the week, and we have the Knight. And the Knight, so the pages sort of look to the left, and the Knights to the right. So this is just my feeling about this. This doesn't have to be everybody's interpretation of how these cards, the court cards, work. But I feel like, we look back. The pages look back. We examine the lessons, right? When we have to in order to learn the lesson, we have to kind of take a moment, pause, and look back and see what the purpose was in all of that, and what was it that we learned. Whereas the Knights are looking forward because they're always on an assignment, right? They have a mission. They've been given an assignment. They have to accomplish that assignment, and so that goal is in the future. So here, and I'm glad the Knight of Coins came up, because I mentioned the Knight of Pentacles, about being structured and organized and digging in there and getting to work, okay? And see, once you clear the stuff, all that mental chatter, see, then you can get down to business. Literally here with the Knight. You can now get down to business. You can really start channeling those ideas, those crystal clear ideas that are prompts for you to help you improve your business matters or your obligations. You will be clear to see the possibilities that will help you to be able to fulfill your obligations. And, if it's about you needing to look for a new job, maybe the Knight is on a mission of looking for a new job, or exploring other career possibilities. That you may need to work on that resume, get that resume prepared, or get those letters out, those proposals out, or whatever it is, whatever the work, whatever it's like plowing the field, development, and whatever you need to do to make progress here. All right, is what you need to focus on in the middle of the week. But you can't do that if you're not, your head's all muddled, okay? All right, so honesty is clear and sharp. The truth can hurt, but we have to start being honest so that we don't allow ourselves to be held back by the excuses that we create in our heads. All right, and so as we do this, now you're going to feel like the 10 of Cups here. All the 10s are about, sort of accomplishing. And they also represent a sense of renewal, because or a new cycle beginning, one thing ending and something new beginning. But here we see that this family is just content. They have what they need. And I feel like the angels are giving you this sense that you'll feel better. You're going to feel better. You're going to feel better. You're going to feel like that in this week, you've come up with that plan. You stopped the worrying. You came up with a plan. You got yourself in a clear place. You got grounded. You mapped out what you needed. You know what you got to do. And you got down to business. And now the first stage of this is that you're going to feel better. Your family, your home, whatever this represents to you, because you could be single, but it means that you feel secure now. And by what you were able to accomplish for the week. All right, and let's take a look at the card I already pulled from the bottom. Ooh, so it's a Devil card. And we see here that the ego, I was talking about the ego. And so the bottom of the message is telling us that we have to watch out for how we get sort of tangled up. These false insecurities, these illusions, that they chain us. They impede us. That's why you feel trapped. It's because you keep feeding these powerless notions. Like every time you say, I don't know, I just don't know, I'm just so confused. This doesn't exist either. None of that really exists. Because I tell you this, if you truly didn't know, or if you truly were confused, there would be nothing on the other side of that. See, this world has the polarities like hot and cold and this and that, because that is how information in the three-dimensional plays off of one another. Through comparison, by understanding one, you understand the other. So you can't be confused, or you can't, if there isn't clarity somewhere. And where does that clarity exist? Within your heart. It is downloaded through your inner being. Your inner being is always clear. It's always clear. It always knows what it wants. It knows because it understands what the signals that you offer it. And when it answers you back, it gives you that clarity. And when you're confused, or any other thing, when you make up excuses, you are resisting. And they're writing confess, meaning go back to the Queen, be honest, cut the BS, basically. Because that's what she's here to say, cut the BS. Because if you don't, you're going to end up feeling trapped like this, and you're not going to be productive, and you're going to eclipse this opportunity of feeling a sense of accomplishment. You know, you want to feel emotionally happy by following this agenda here that they've laid out for you, this divine prescription. This is what you get. And this should always be your goal. You should always be about wanting to make yourself happy, to put yourself in a position where you feel at peace, where you feel secure. So this week is about releasing stuff. And they keep writing, and they've been writing, and I keep forgetting, and now I see it. They keep writing, I think you're like something around your sexuality. And they say this relates to this in the sense that all of us, whether it's our identity or just the whole thing of being sexual beings, we really, where we practice this holding back on our desires comes from our sexuality, that we are not open enough in expressing that, or being honest about the ways that we want, that our sexuality aligns or seeks pleasure. And as we are not honest, let's say, with our partners about what we need to pleasure us, or if we're kind of like prudish, like, oh, I can't think of myself like that. You are practicing. You're practicing, and you these thoughts, this clutter, this trash talk, because everything, all of that trash talk, the sabotage of it, is about denying. The ego is about denying that which you are, which is what your higher self is already being and radiating with joy and light and prosperity. And so what you're doing is, you may notice, like, when you want to do something else outside of your sexuality, for example, let's say you want to buy a new hat, but you think, oh no, it's too excessive. See, and that same thing happens in our sexual expression. And so what I'm trying to say to you, and I think you've heard me say it a lot, that a lot of our experiences are the result, not a lot, but all of them are the result of our spiritual practice. And I'm not talking about spiritual like I'm talking to the angels. Spiritual meaning your soul, your heart, its desire, which is the way that you fulfill your spiritual practice is about fulfilling what gives you joy and happiness. Living that. So living that is the spiritual practice. And whenever you desire something and you tell yourself no, then you practice ignoring your intuition, your instincts, your impulses, and whatever other words that I'm probably leaving out. Now, yes, we can't, do everything, but if it's going to harm you, you shouldn't want to do it in the first place. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about what makes you feel happy, truly happy, because substances like narcotics and things like that don't do that. That's an illusion, because you can't do it through the means of inspiration, which when you find that high through the means of inspiration, you mean joy, this pleasure we're talking about, then the bliss, the orgasm is far beyond whatever those things could do. Like same thing with eating, just to stuff down the emotions or whatever else that we do as humans to escape. And all of that is practicing not being present for our obligations. And our obligations should be about what it is that we choose to create that gives us that profound sense of joy and satisfaction and fulfillment and inner peace and hope within. This is how you should measure your progress. And that's the last thing I'm going to say, because that's what they gave me. And of course, they're saying when you measure your progress through this, the supplies come automatically as a result, and you can't get in the way of them happening for you. So I send you lots of love and angel blessings, and I look forward to really working with this deck, especially on our daily card messages. I think it's just going to be an incredible deck to work with. I've had it for a very long time, and I almost forgot about it, actually. And so this year I've been working with a different deck each week personally, and so I've started to see some of the decks that I have. So have a beautiful week, everyone, and God bless you.